All right, very good evening to everyone out there. My name is Hardeep Singh, and I'm going to take this session on communication skills and how it can enhance our personality. So, this is what we are going to do this evening. So, let me first share my PPT with all of you. I hope you are able to see the PPT. Well, I'm sharing my PPT with you. I hope so. This is visible to everyone out there. Let me just fix it. There might be some issues. So let me try to fix that. Yeah, I think it should be visible now. If it can be confirmed. Okay, there is some issue, I reckon. Yeah, I hope so. This is visible now. I hope so. It is visible to everyone out there. All right. So let me start. Okay, the session. So here we have got our session for related to communication and how we can enhance our personality, all the viewers out there. So as you can see, communication is something which is extremely powerful. Communication can make or break any relation, begin or end any war. I mean, this statement simply tells you everything. This statement tells you everything in a way that what is the power of communication? It is absolutely immense. And when it has been sandwiched with personality, I think it can really do wonders for us. As appearance makes impressions, but it is a personality that makes an impact. So, when it comes to your personality, communication has to play a very significant role, a vital role, dear students, dear viewers out there. So this is what we are going to try to figure out, that how it can make a difference to our personality, how we can ensure that our personalities are getting improved, and how communication has to play a significant role or an impactful role in that. So during the session, if you've got any queries, you can put your queries in the in the chat box. So I'll be starting the session. Okay, so let's get started with that. But this is a very important statement that we guys need to keep in our mind, that it is certainly a very pivotal element, communication, and how it plays a role. It reminds me of something that what Sigmund Freud, a very famous psychologist from Austria, has to say, that personality is the wholesome impacts that we are putting on others. It is not the clothing, it's just not the attire, it's just not the kind of confidence that we are carrying. It has got lot many ingredients. The way we speak, the way we interact, the way we talk with people, okay, the way we communicate with people, that makes a whole lot of a difference altogether when it comes to communication. So on that note, let's get started. So what we are going to do is to we will be understanding the importance of communication skill, recognize the connection between communication skills and personality. Okay, so this is what we are going to delve into. So understanding the communication is of a huge importance, right? Recognizing what is the connection between communication and personality, how they are interconnected, how they are linked. So that is what we need to delve into. So this is what we are going to figure out as far as this session is concerned, viewers out there. So yeah, this is what precisely we're talking about: communication skill and personality development. It really these two elements are absolutely they're not chalk and cheese. I mean, they are very much same. They're very much interconnected, as I mentioned earlier, and this is something which is extremely important to understand when it comes to communication and skill, and how it really impacts our personality. So what is communication? First of all, that's something we need to understand. So, communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. So, as they say, I mean, the research says that 7% of the communication is done with the words, and the rest of them is what we call as non-verbal communication. But still, we have to use words. We have to interact with people, and for that, we got to use words, dear students. Right. So it's pretty important. Communication is a word that comes from the word camino, which means to share. Okay, it's a Latin word which means to share, and to share and to share our information, to share our opinions, our perspectives, our feelings. Okay, we need language skills. And when we have got potent language skills, when we have got very stringent communication skill, that is going to play a very crucial role in developing or honing up or shaping our personality in a big manner, in a colossal manner. Right. So communication is simply the act of transforming information from one place to the other, one person to the other, maybe a group of people. When you are doing a public speaking or when you are addressing a gathering, okay, that's what communication is all about. I don't think so. There is any issue with the definition of that. I don't think so. There is any issue when it comes to understanding the term called communication, dear students. But communication and effective communication, they are two different aspects. Okay, being an effective communicator in our professional personal lives involves learning the skills to inform, to exchange information with clarity, empathy, and understanding. So we got to understand this word. Just a moment. Okay, so we got to understand this particular thing, that effective communicator is someone who has got the ability to effectively put across the point you have got, the ideas that you have got, the information that you have got, the feeling that you have got that you need to express, how effectively you can do so. This is very, very important. Okay, I just want to convey one particular thing over there. Sometimes when we talk about fluency in language, we kind of mistake with speed. That fluency is all about speed, how fast we can speak. That is not fluency. Fluency is about clarity, about lucidity, about making sure that the point that you are making is being taken care of, is being quite clear to the viewer, okay, or to the speaker for that matter, or to the listener for that matter, if I can say. There's a point we need to understand: empathy. What is this empathy? Empathy is something, when you talk about empathy, it is something putting yourself into the shoes of the other person. So when you put yourself into the shoes of the other person, that is what you call as empathy. So empathy is very important when it comes to effective communication, because you got to understand the point of view of the other person. Otherwise, the channel of communication is going to break big time. So you need to become an effective communicator, and to become an effective communicator, you've got to understand how I can bring that clarity, how I can bring that empathy, and how I can ensure that we are on the same page, the speaker and the listener. they are on the same page. So that is very, very crucial. So that will make you an effective communicator. There are certain objectives, as you can see, and it's something which is very, communication is a very dynamic process, never been static. It's ever changing, it's ever shaping, it's ever developing. Some of the common objectives are to get or give information. That's why we do communicate with people, like what we are doing at the moment. I'm trying to communicate my information regarding the topic communication, right? And probably if you give a certain feedback or probably ask a certain question, I'll have an idea. I'll get the information from your side. To ask or give instructions or advice or suggestion, as teachers we generally do so, right? Or maybe as instructors we generally do so. We ask for the advice, we give the advice, we give suggestion, we make request. Okay, that's where again communication is so very vital. When we politely ask people that, could you please do this particular thing for me, could you please do that for me, politely when you're asking people, persuade other people to agree with us. Yeah, that is this persuasion. Persuasion is means what? When you are trying to convince people, so your language has to be quite a very potent weapon in that case, where you can convince people, where you can cajole people, okay, and get people involved in your conversation, or get people influenced, or get people persuaded by the choice of words that you are making. So these are some of the objectives. I mean, there are plethora of objectives, but these are some of the common adjectives, common objectives that I have just dished out at the moment. So I believe that it's very clear. And if there is again any doubt or query, I think I'm also looking for the queries, okay, in between. So these are the objectives of communication, okay. And we got to understand that why do we do communication at the first place. So this is a very simple pictorial representation of the communication process, dear viewers. As you can see that there is a sender, as like I'm the sender at the moment, I'm trying to communicate something. The message has been received by the receiver, and that is something called as encoding. The message is encoded and then it has been decoded, it is reaching the receiver. But it's something we need to understand. The very important part over here is this is called as the feedback. The communication is going to break big time. Okay, it will go absolutely haywire when the feedback is not there, when the feedback is not provided. That's very important in the receiver part, that you give the proper feedback, okay, and you are ensuring that the message that has been put across by the sender, it has been taken care of, taken care of by the receiver by providing the proper feedback. This is one of the important integral part of communication. Communication is going to suffer, it is going to hamper, okay, if the feedback is not provided. So I'm just talking about communication at the moment, okay, and I'll be attaching this particular thing with personality later on. But we got to understand the subtle nuances, the subtle elements, the certain color or the certain vibrance of communication at the moment, and then we will be linking it uh, with personality. So I hope so this is very much clear to everyone, that we have got a sender, okay, someone who sends the message, it has been encoded, it has been decoded, okay, then it has been reaching to the receiver, and importantly the receiver has to give the feedback. Only then sender will be able to understand, okay, this is what has been sent, this is what has been this has been the feedback by the receiver, and this will establish the communication in a big way, right? So this is what we've got, communication process. Now we come to seven C's of communication. Okay, so this is again the element of communication. As viewers, we need to understand very precisely. Okay, we need to have the clarity when it comes to seven C's. What are these seven C's? These are correctness. Okay, completeness of the message, concreteness of the message, concise, consideration, courteous, and clear. So whatever you are sending out, I'll be just being talking about the correctness. Whatever you're sending out, okay, you got to filter it out, right? Whatever you've been talking, whatever you're speaking, you got to filter it out and ensure there is a correctness in that. There is a corrective measure that you've taken. The message needs to be complete, okay. If half of the message was going to hamper the communication process altogether, the message needs to be complete, okay. When it is reaching out to the other person, that message has to be quite complete, okay. This is something which is very, very important. Then we have got concrete. What is the meaning of concrete? Concrete means something which is tangible. The message that you've been putting out is being, it should be quite tangible. Okay, it should be comprehensible. It should have a substance that is comprehensible, understandable to the listener or to the person to whom you are sending out your message. Concise, pretty important. Okay, pretty important that your message is concise. Concise means short, to the point. Okay, it shouldn't be like there, as Shakespeare has said, that brevity is the soul of wit. You got to be brief. You got to be brief, and in that briefness, you got to express your idea. You got to express your notion. You got to express your point of view. Consideration, as we discussed in the previous slide, we discussed about empathy. As a speaker, you need to ensure that you are having empathy. As I mentioned, that putting yourself into the shoes of the other person, that is pretty important. You need to consider that the message that I'm putting across, okay, will the other person be able to comprehend that? Will we both be on the same page? Okay, so this is something we need to really filter out, dear students or dear viewers. Okay, so we got to be considerate. And then we have got courtesy. Okay, there's nothing like courtesy, there's nothing like politeness. Whenever you are sending out your message, putting out your message across, you got to be courteous, you got to be polite, you got to be soft, you got to use softeners, if I may put it. You got to put softeners, you got to be very courteous. Okay, and you need to filter out that there are no words of arrogance, so there are no words of that can really belittle the other person, right? So you got to be courteous. And finally, your message needs to be absolutely clear, because as I mentioned, communication can make or break a relation, begin or end any war. So your message needs to be crystal clear. You've got to make sure that whatever the message that you are putting across, it's very much clear. So that's very, very important. So these are the 7 C's of communication, dear viewers. Now, how do we communicate? So generally, there are 3 ways. As you can see, the oral communication is there, the written communication is there, and then another very significant or integral part of communication, which is non-verbal communication. So oral communication, the thoughts that are shared through speech, as this is what we are doing. Oral communication is there, but at the same time, if you see, I'm also using my hand movements. I'm also using my gestures, my eye contact. Okay, I just want to say that Shah Rukh Khan once said a very nice thing, that if your words and your body language, they are not matching, you're telling a lie. So it's very important that whatever you're speaking, and it needs to be supported by, your body language. So your eye contact, the way you speak, the tone of your voice, your facial expression, they need to be spot on. Otherwise, okay, things will go haywire. And of course, written communication is there. We do it with the emails, handwritten notes. We've got proposal, we've got letter, we've got lot many other things. Okay, the text messages that we type. Okay, we were living in techno-savvy world, of course, just viewers, and that we have got plenty of ways. Okay, we're doing an SMS or something written. So we do communicate in these 3 ways. But the most potent one, I would say, it's oral communication. Excuse me, that's what we come across. Okay, now if we talk about our daily communication, that is what we do the most. So oral communication is there, but yeah, we can't really underestimate the non-verbal part. As I mentioned earlier, they really play a supporting character, but somehow their character, if they that character is missed, somehow the movie is not going to be good. So these are the 3 types of or major types of communication that we do in our uh, communication process or in our day-to-day basis. So that's what I told you in the very beginning, that 7% we use words. Okay, 55% is non-verbal. So quite a excuse me, quite a substantial number, right? 38% is vocal tone and inflection, but 7% is words. But still, it remains to be a very I would say that something which is extremely powerful, or always taking the center stage when it comes to words. So this is what we've got. Now, types of nonverbal communication and how the personality judgment is done. Now we are coming to the fundamental part, or I would say the crucial part of our session, that how we can associate our types of nonverbal communication, and how it really showcases our personality, how it delineates our personality. So if you talk about facial expressions such as smiling, frowning, or grimacing, it might showcase that you are friendly, or it might showcase that you're arrogant. Okay, sometimes people are very pompous, they give a very sheepish smile, they frown a little bit here and there. Okay, so it might come across that you are friendly, or you've been a little bit arrogant maybe, or amiable at the same time, right? Then if we talk about your appearance, like wearing a business suit or choosing a certain hairstyle, okay, that might make you a charismatic personality. You might come across as a very charismatic and impactful, a sophisticated personality. Okay. Then we've got hand gestures. Okay. So if you talk about hand gesture, conscious body movements like a thumbs up or waving, it showcases that you are hello-minded, you're creative, or maybe you're open, you're an extrovert, out and out extrovert person, right? Your body language, such as slouching, maybe, or crossing your legs, the way you sit, okay, or maybe fidgeting, okay, not sure about something, maybe it might come across that you are a little bit acting as a cowardly, or maybe you have got lack of confidence, or you don't come across as someone who's been confident enough. Okay, so that is another element of our body language or nonverbal communication. Then we have got proxemics, okay, your physical distancing from someone, or how you respect other personal space. Okay, so that is another element that we need to ensure, that how do you do so, whether you are doing so or not. If you're not doing so, it might come across as disrespectful, right? So this is what another type, okay, that another element of non-verbal communication that will showcase, that will delineate your personality, okay, type. So then we've got eye contact, the kind of eye contact that you are putting, okay, like how long you hold your gaze, or if you avoid it altogether. Okay, so it might come across that you are insightful, it means that you're profound. Okay, you've been quite concentrating, right? And the another type, I think the another element is paralinguistic. Yeah, that includes your tone of voice, the volume that you speak at, and your pitch, that might come across as a personality trait, that you are enthusiastic, exuberant means full of life, or gregarious, which means very much extrovert in nature. So these are the types of nonverbal communication. So when you express anything non-verbally, okay, then you got to be very much careful that how you are coming across as a personality to the other person, to the onlooker, to the bystander, how you are coming across. So you got to be careful. You got to be deliberately taking care of this particular thing, that how do you come across to the other person, right? So I hope so that things are working out, okay, and the viewers, okay, they are able to understand the point of view, the things that we are uh, trying to get into. Okay, so these are the types of nonverbal communication, and how personality is judged, how you will come across as a personality, courtesy these nonverbal expression. Let's look at a situation. Like, there is a person called Rebecca. Rebecca is a single mother and has been feeling overwhelmed at work. Her department is short staffed, so she has been taking an extra duties, which has lengthened her workday. This has negatively impacted the amount of time she spends with her children. So you can see the situation and how communication really makes a difference. Okay, so someone who's a single mother, and she's been overwhelmed, I mean overworked when it comes to her workplace, and her department is short staff. Okay, she has been taking care of the extra duties, and this is something which is stretching her working hours, and it is making a negative impact on the children back home. So now what actually you need to do in certain situation, how you can deal with that. So this she decides to schedule a meeting with her supervisors to voice her concern. Very nice expression, voice her concern, which means that to showcase your concern, okay, or put your concern on the table, thus it can be discussed. Rebecca prepares for the meeting by compiling all of her accomplishments since taking on the extra duties, and proposes splitting the extra work hour among her and other co-workers until a new person is hired. Her boss is understanding and relieves Rebecca of somehow her extra responsibility around her schedule to go back to the normal. So what what we're trying to learn over here is, it's very important, what we're trying to learn over here is that how do you communicate? How do you communicate? She could have just kept on working. Okay, she could have taken the back seat. Okay, and could have taken all the burden, and it would have impacted her children back home. But she didn't do so. She was assertive enough. Okay, she took a stance. Okay, and discussed the same concern, discussed the similar situation with her boss. And when you have got the positivity, when you have got the confidence, okay, when you've been quite exuberant, okay, things really work out. Okay, it's very important. How do you feel? How do you do the different kind of things? So things really work out that way. So she stood tall and discussed the concern with her boss, and the boss was also very much accommodative. Okay, so as you can see that the duties were relieved, or probably it was taken care of by other people as well, and now she's got a very normal routine going on. So the point I'm making over here is very simple, that in communication, that in certain situation you got to be assertive. When I say assertive, it doesn't mean that you got to be arrogant, okay, or you got to be pompous, or you believe that you just throw the courtesy out of the window. No, you have to ensure that you're confident, assertive, and you need to ensure that you come across as a person who's sincere enough. Okay, so the point I'm making over here is you have to be positive, assertive, exuberant, and more importantly, you need to ensure that you're sticking to your guns. So when I say you're sticking to your guns, it means that you are taking responsibility of your morality. You're not running away from that. So that's the moral of the story. When it comes to this, in communication, we got to be assertive. That's what precisely I was talking about. That's what precisely I was talking about. That your communication style leads to the personality type that you've got. As you can see, that if you are passive, as Rebecca would have said, I lose, you win. It means she was overburdened, she was overwhelmed. Okay, she could have said, okay, fair enough, I'll take it. Okay, I'll have a tough time, but I'll manage. Okay, but so she wouldn't be, she would not have been happy. Okay, assertive, that's important. You've got I win, you win. It means that let's discuss, let's sit on the table. Okay, we have got something to discuss. Okay, let's try to sort out. Okay, let's try to figure out. That's very important when it comes to communication. I just want to remind what I said initially, that communication can make or break any relation, begin or end any war. So that is very, very important, right? So here we can see that how Rebecca put the point across, and how Rebecca was successful, how she was successful in doing so. So assertive, that's the positive trait that you got to develop. That's how communication really makes a difference to your personality. Passively aggressive, I lose, you lose. Okay, it means it's a negative trait. Okay, Rebecca would have said that, okay, if you have overburdened me, I am not going to do the work the way it is expected. So both the parties will be on the losing part. Aggressive, another one is aggressive, I win, you lose. Okay, so what Rebecca would have said, that I am going to do all the work, okay, but I will ensure that it is not being taken care of properly. Okay, I'll give you a tough time. Okay, I will retaliate. Okay, when my opportunity will come into the picture, right? So this is what communication style is, right? So you've been dominant, or you've been showcasing that sociability. Would you like to be dominant? I don't think so. We would like to ensure that we've been assertive with our choice of words, with our choice of expression. That is going to play a role in our personality. Okay, so that's how our personality really shapes up, dear viewers. This is what I was talking about. Again, so you can see some more examples of the same, right? The types of communication style: passive, assertive, aggressive. You've got to choose. My needs are not important. I can't say no to others, so sometimes we just kind of held ourselves back. Okay, we just allow the things to go the way they are. We just go by the flow. But at times it's very difficult. Okay, so we got to ensure that communication is established. I reduce my own self-esteem. Okay, when I go and shell, what will happen? I'm going to suffer big time. I'll be having low esteem. I'll have lack of confidence. I will develop inferiority complex. Unfortunately, this is not going to help. I keep my opinions to myself. I'm not expressive. Okay, I have got no expression because why? I've already got low self-esteem. When you've got low self-esteem, you will keep your thoughts, your opinions to yourself. Would you like to be would you like to be that person or not? You got to figure out. I speak softly and avoid eye contact. So when you avoid eye contact, what happens? You're not confident. You're not coming across someone who is a good communicator. Never ever avoid the eye contact. It should be fragmented. You can't have a gaze. Okay, you can't really kind of look at the person continuously. You got to maintain fragmented eye contact. I agree with others to avoid conflict. Okay, so that's again a big issue. Okay, so when you just throw the towel, in my language, we would say that we are throwing the towel. Okay, you win, I lose. That shouldn't be the case. Okay, I'm not trying to say that we've got to be dominant. I'm just trying to say that we've got to be assertive, as we can see the traits given in the second box. Outcome: you are okay, I am not. So the outcome is what? You're going to suffer. You're going to have this tendency of not of throwing the towel, of surrendering, of succumbing to the pressure. So my needs are important as everyone else. Yeah, I can say no calmly and directly. Yeah, probably in a soft spoken way by using diplomatic language. I increase my own self esteem. This will definitely improve your self esteem. I'm confident in sharing my opinions. Yes, I speak at a conversational tone and maintain eye contact. I agree and disagree when it is fitting, and that will make you okay, and that will make me okay as well. So this is something probably is the best way to go about. This will ensure the balance. As you can see, the triangle is there. So it's kind of balancing out the things. You've got to ensure that how you can balancing out the things, dear students or dear viewers. When you say dear students, in habit, because we've been teaching students on a regular basis. And as you can see, that probably the something that you cannot I cannot endorse is aggressive. Okay, that only my needs matter. I only say no in a reactive and aggressive way. Okay, that will paint a very negative picture of yours, to be honest. My opinions are the only ones that matter. I speak loudly and glare at others. Okay, when you are glaring at others, it doesn't make a positive impression at all. I usually disagree with the others and don't listen to others. Okay, that is not a good trait of a good communicator. Okay, communication is not about the way you put your point across. It is also about to become a good listener. How do you listen to the person, and that can only happen if you are a person full of empathy. Okay, because you can allow yourself to you can put allow yourself to put into the shoes of the others, and that can really make you a good listener. And more importantly, you got to be patient enough for that. So outcome: you are not okay, I am okay. So this is dominant again. So the balance is not there. As you can see the picture, it is tilting. Okay, it is tilting. So you got to have that assertive mindset, right? So that's pretty crucial. Okay, let me just move to the next slide. I'm having slight issue. Okay, yeah. So let's take a scenario. Okay, let's take an example. Okay, you can see that there's a scenario: aggressive response, passive response, assertive response. Let's see. There's a friend of yours, a friend of mine. Let's take it this way. Shows up late to a movie you wanted to see, causing you both miss the movie. Okay, so let's see the reaction. Okay, let's see the reaction when it comes to this situation. So aggressive response can be like, you're always late and never think about anyone else but yourself. Okay, this is going to affect your personality positively or negatively. You have to figure out that. Passive response, it's fine, so I didn't want to see it that much way. Again, positive or negative, you are probably trying to appease the other person, please the other person, but in this way, are you going to be satisfied with the way the things are going on? And look at this example. I am really disappointed we missed the movie because I really wanted to see it. Next time, I would like us to pick a time that works better for your schedule. So when you give this response, It is neither falling into the category of aggressive response, nor it is falling into the category of passive response because you've been assertive. That's the point I am making. When it comes to communication, okay, of course, fundamental elements you need to take care of. As I mentioned earlier, eye contact, the choice of your words, your facial expressions, your non-verbal communication, everything, but how it is going to shape up your personality. So you got to have a assertive response. You got to make sure that you've been positive enough. It's not like you're underestimating yourself when excuse me, when it comes to your passive response, in a way you are underestimating. You're just saying that okay, fair enough, okay, it doesn't matter, okay, and it will, if when you put yourself in this category, what you're doing, you are developing low self-esteem. You're asking for trouble. You are literally asking for trouble, so it is not going to impact your personality in a positive way. So this one is something that probably you need to inculcate. Another scenario: a person cuts ahead in a line you have been waiting in. Now that's the habit we people have developed. Unfortunately, you might say, "What's wrong with you? I've got to be somewhere." Okay, aggressive. Okay, aggressive. Okay, something which can really ask for trouble. Okay, maybe you it can make you feel a very pugnacious character. When I say pugnacious, means someone who really picks up the fight very quickly, someone who always been trying to be at the loggerheads with the other person. Okay, or you would say, don't worry, okay, it doesn't matter to me, you have just surpassed me, doesn't matter. Okay, now neither the first one is good nor this one is good, because when you say the first one, okay, the first aggressive response, okay, this is asking for trouble, it might escalate the matter. If you are doing the second one, it is not going to escalate the matter, but will it help you be in the long run? It showcases a lack of confidence. Okay, it showcases that something is missing. So you probably say that, pardon me, if you look at this response, pardon me, but I have been waiting in line for a while and have to be someplace soon. Would you mind waiting your turn? This way, the other person will understand, yes, that you're not going to allow the water to go under the bridge. Okay. And at the same time, you are very courteous enough. At the same time, you know what is communication, and your personality has been such that that really makes a positive impact altogether. So this is something that we need to incorporate, we need to inculcate in our personalities, dear viewers. Another situation, probably, if you can see a friend expect you to pay for dinner for the second time in a row. Okay, that's something also occurs with us. Okay, when you have been we've been surrounded with buddies. Best response would be, I always have to pay for you. All you ever do is take. Okay, straight away. Okay, you've been just you're not been you've been not biting the bullet. Okay, you've been straight away coming across with your aggressive best, or I've got it, don't worry. Okay, so will it encourage your friend to be to be more accommodative, to be more welcoming, to be more hospitable? Not at all. It will encourage your friend that fair enough, it doesn't matter to him. I can subdue him or her. I can make him or her feel timid. Okay, so it is not going to put a very positive point across by any stretch of imagination. Probably, now that look at another way, it frustrates me that I'm paying for dinner again because I've been running low on cash. Next time, I would appreciate if you paid for us. So that's probably as a way which is assertive. This is not going to put your friend on the back foot, but this will put your friend on the toes that you better behave, that you better take care of your own expenses, okay, and understand the enormity of the situation, right? So the point I am trying to make over here is, dear viewers, that we got to be assertive. Okay, but when I say assertive, there shouldn't be any shade of arrogance. Communication is all about putting your point across. And again, I have to reiterate that when it comes to communication, it is something which is a potent tool, a powerful tool that can make or break. So when I say assertive, be confident, be positive, okay, be exuberant, be optimistic, and look at the brighter side of things. That's what really matters, rather than just throwing the towel, succumbing, and just being sitting back. So we got to work on that. So personality developments what refers to the process of developing, enhancing, and changing one's personality over time. It's a continuous process. It is an ever changing process. You can't say that I have developed it. I am absolutely spot on. I have nailed it. You can't say that, because we believe that the biggest room in the world is room for improvement. At every stage, at every point in time, you have to improve. And if you stop improving, okay, if you have put yourself into into the mode of stagnation, okay, then you're asking for trouble. Okay, so you can't be stagnant. You have to move, and you have to look for the improvement. You have to look for the enhancement. Whether, as we say, if communication is also something that you develop with the passage of time. When you were young, when you were a child, okay, probably you were not that good when it comes to any language, be it Punjabi, Hindi, or English. But with the passage of time, when you try to hone, when you work on that, you get a certain idea, and then probably you come to that point of that point of confidence, where you can express yourself the way you want it, right? So such development occurs naturally with the intentional effort over the course of life. So absolutely. So it is, as I mentioned earlier, it's an ever-changing process. Okay, develop your personality, look for the good things, and you're good to be a good observer at the same time. It's not like only by listening to certain lectures, or going across, or probably watching something. You got to observe. You need to be a keen observer. Okay, probably someone, a teacher of yours, whose personality is something which is quite impacting you. Probably a guide of yours, a mentor of yours, or someone in the family, or someone in the relatives, someone really influences you in a positive way. You got to grab that. You got to grab that trait. You got to have that positivity, okay, which has been rubbing on your shoulders, okay, rubbing with you. So this is the way you have to take the things. You got to grab it. You got to grasp it. Okay, it's not like that you're just been observing, but you're not incorporating positive things. Okay, you got to incorporate. Okay, positive anything is better than negative nothing, right? So you got to have that positivity flowing. So communication skill and personality development, as I mentioned earlier, they are very much interlinked, interconnected, and we have seen plenty of examples. Okay, how it can really make things happening. And when we have got good communication skill, we don't have the confidence to speak up and express also. Then it means that personality needs more development. Yeah, that's very important. As I mentioned earlier, you've got to be expressive. Sometimes what people believe, they have got good vocabulary, they have got good lexicon, they have got good way of trends, okay, and they can speak the language very fluently, but that fluency needs to be linked with that personality. Only then your personality will be shaped. For that, you've got to be, as I mentioned, the key word here remains the same, that is confident. You've got to be confident. Only then that element of fluency, or the communication is going to be fruitful for you, right? So if it is not there, you got to work on that, okay. And for that, you need to observe a lot, as I mentioned earlier. So why it is important? It is important for all kind of things, for your spiritual well-being, for your emotional well-being, for your mental well-being, for your social well-being, and for your physical well-being, right? So your personality, as I mentioned earlier, it's an ever-changing process. So spiritually, you also improve, okay. If you are embracing spirituality, okay, it is going to help you big time, without an iota of doubt. Okay, it is also going to improve your emotional well-being, okay, because when you know how to be cool, calm, collected, okay, how to talk to people, how to negotiate with people, where you need to be assertive enough, okay, these things will really make you emotionally very strong. And when you are emotionally strong, it is definitely going to be helpful to your mental well-being, okay, because when you are taking care of emotions, your emotions have been quite uh, uh, channelized, okay, obviously mentally you will be in the pink of the health, as we say this, we use this idiom. And when you are mentally, these are kind of interlinked once again. When you are mentally quite Fit. Okay, obviously, this is something which will make you a very sociable person. Okay, your social well-being will also be taken care of, and ultimately, when your mental aspects are taken care of, okay, mental attributes are been in position, physically you will be feeling on the top of the world. And it's very important, it's absolutely imperative to be physically good. Okay, and for that, this chain needs to be, you got to inculcate all these elements, and ultimately all these elements are taken care of. It develops your personality like anything, right? How effective communication leads to personality development? We have talked a lot about that. Just to summarize, I would say it provides assistance to get yourself better, enhance your thought process, improve your social association, gives you a mesmerizing personality. Now, mesmerizing, attractive personality, okay, you should follow communication skill tips because communication skills help you in the following aspects. Okay, or when I say following aspects, it means that the aspects that can really improve your personality. So good communication is something, is a plus point, it is icing on the cake. If you have got good communication, it is icing on the cake. This will help the personality to grow, this will help the personality to flourish, this will help the personality to blossom with the passage of time, dear viewers. Now, it can help you to develop your communication, okay, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, and it will yeah, just excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather for some days. So it is definitely which will help you building your stronger relationship. Okay, so obviously, as I mentioned earlier, communication can make or break a relation, begin or end any war. So potent communication, okay, then which is sandwiched with your personality, laced with good personality, obviously the result would be a fantastic one, and your relationship will be stronger with each passing day. Effective speaker, okay, so another trait of communication and how it is interconnected with the with the personality. The primary part of personality is our style of talking. As I have been talking to you or probably interacting with you, whatever you can say, so you can introduce yourself in a better way when you have got your improved communication. And you are, when your communication is improved, your confidence level will be sky high. The sky is the limit for you when your communication is being quite good. So ultimately, it's like directly proportional. When we study in sciences, right? Something which is directly proportional, it means equivalent to something. So if your communication is there, it's good. Okay, it is you know the ins and out of the communication. Okay, you have got all the ideas of communication. You know the nitty gritties of the communication. Obviously, it is going to help your personality develop with each passing day, as I mentioned earlier. So these communication skills help you to choose a proper way to describe your intention, right? When you need to be assertive, as I mentioned earlier, courteous. Okay, you got to be ensure that you are full of vitality, you're full of energy, and more importantly, you are sticking to your guns. It means you are not putting your loyalty or morality in the back burner. So when you have got all these traits, obviously your confidence will be growing, and it would be on this on the pinnacle. So it can really make you feel a mature person, or you will come across as a very mature guy, mature person. Okay, someone who is very level headed, calm and composed person. So communication is something that really plays a very pivotal role in developing our personality. And if a good personality, as I mentioned earlier, if you remember that not only you got to be a good communicator in terms of speaking, uh, when you shape up your personality, you also need to be a good listener. So you need to become a good listener. You also need to ensure, like in conversation, generally what happens, we're trying to be dominant. We're trying to just ensure that I have got the mic, okay, or I have got the things to say, okay, and it's only me, okay, I'm taking the center stage. No, it can't be like that. Okay, when you are having a communication is a two-way process. Okay, and again, if you are showcasing your dominance, your personality will be really effective negatively. So allow the other person to speak as well whenever it is required. Reflects you as a sympathetic person. Okay, yes, when you are a good listener, okay, it means that you have got the personality of patience. You showcase your patience. Not only you're just been kind of burping out the words, okay, but you've been patient enough at the same time. Don't interrupt them again and again. Yeah, that's again, we need to understand that when you listen, let the other person finish, let the other person complete, okay, and then probably you can jump with your opinion, with your perspectives. So uh, personality, if you talk about a person who's got good personality, that person is a good listener too. Significant role of communication, because when you have the traits to talk effectively, you can convince anyone. So yeah, so again, as I mentioned, these two elements are sandwiched, these two elements are interlinked. Your good personality will be helped big time by communication. And when you have got good communication, as I mentioned earlier, that you can cajole people, you can convince people, you can make a positive impact on other person, and you are able to persuade people by the choice of words, by the choice of expressions, or maybe with your vocabulary. Okay, it will really make a certain amount of difference altogether. And of course, not to say, I mean, not to forget body language. As I mentioned, a communication skill help you to behave confidently, keep your integrity high. Integrity is a very important word over here. It means that your esteem, you're not allowing your esteem to be hijacked. Never ever allow that. When you speak in a good way, your body language also becomes remarkable, right? You come up with a lease of confidence, you come up with a lease of that elan aplomb. Okay, your body language influences others and display your personality as a brilliant and exquisite character. Okay, so not the way the persons are sitting in the picture, as you can say. You got to ensure your posture, as I mentioned that thought, that if your body language and words they are not in sync, you're telling a lie. So it's pretty important that you work on both the things. Okay, your words really need to be supported. As you talk about a movie, there is a lead character, but supporting character has to play a very important part altogether. And not to mention the word that we've been using continuously, that it really improves your confidence big time. Keep your head clear whenever talking. Okay, and try to make sense. Okay, try not to be dominant, try not to be arrogant. Be assertive, not arrogant. So it is definitely improve your confidence. Okay, and obviously you can introduce yourself with a refined sense of confidence, a renewed sense of belief. Okay, when you are introducing yourself to the world. So that's the power of communication. So with that, I would like to end my session with this thought: the biggest room in the world is room for improvement. I gave this session, probably there were some hits and misses. Okay, that's why I say the biggest room in the world is a room for improvement, because at every point, at every stage, we need to improve. And personality is such, it's an ever changing process, it's very progressive. It cannot be, you cannot limit to a certain level. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I've done it, or I have improved my personality, nothing more can be done. No, it is something which is going to be evolved with the passage of time. And that's why I say the biggest room in the world is room for improvement. At every stage, at every point, at every junction, okay, we have to improve. Okay, otherwise, okay, if you come stagnant, okay, things will definitely not work out. Will be lagging behind. Our less confidence level will be taken aback. Okay, low esteem, self esteem will come to the forefront, which is not going to help us in any which way. So it's pretty important, dear viewers, that you keep on shaping up our personality, you keep on improving ourselves, try to become a better human being in that process as well, try to become a better friend, try to become a better person to the world. So that's pretty important. So with that thought, I am going to end my session, but not before certain queries. Okay, so if you have got any query, so please, if you can put across. At the same time, there's a feedback form, dear viewers, that you need to fill. Okay, and if you can fill that feedback form, only then the certificates, the participation certificates will be deliver to you people. So it's pretty important that you fill that feedback form. And in the meantime, if you have got queries, any questions, so you can put your question in the chat box, I reckon. So I hope so that you're able to see the message of message for filling the form in order to get the certificates. So you're requested to fill that form. Only then you can get the participation certificate. In the meantime, if you've got any query, you can put your question, put your doubts in place. There's it can be entertained. So I really believe that there was something to learn out of the session. There was something to grasp. There was something, and probably if you have got something, if you have got something, it would be fantastic if you can incorporate. All right. So this is it from my side. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have got some learning elements, okay, and hope you will inculcate this thought of the biggest room in the world is room for improvement. So I hope so. This will be inculcated. So okay, so I've got a query. What would be appropriate time for assertive communication? Okay, if I have to put across assertive communication, whenever you feel that I need to be putting my point across. You feel that you've been let down, okay, and people are just been taking you to the cleaners. Okay, you should not be trying to dominate. You got to put your point across. Do not shy. Okay, do not be an introvert person. An introvert is there's nothing wrong to being an introvert, but when you are supposed to put your point across, you got to put your point across. But how do you do so? You have to be very polite. You have to be very courteous. Okay, and put your point across with all the confidence. No one is going to stop you. Okay, so the choice of words really matters. So whenever you feel that things are not working out and I have to take a stance and I have to be assertive in my communication, I have to ensure that I need to put my point across. That's where you need to be assertive, but your choice of words really matter. All right, so I've got one query. If there is any other, maybe I've got a couple of minutes, so maybe a minute, I believe. All right, that is it from my side. Once again, I would say thank you so much for watching. Okay, I hope so. There was some learning curve to all of you who participated. Thank you so much. Have a good time. Thank you all. Thank you.